Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. A lot going on in the world of recruiting right now for the University of Tennessee. Obviously, you're coming off of the commitment of five-star quarterback George McIntyre, and now you got to capitalize on that momentum. You got to go get some of these top-ranked players in the country, get them on campus, build those relationships, and let's shoot for that top 5 class in the class of 2025. They're working on one of the top players in the country, a 5-star wide receiver scheduled to be in town soon. We're going to talk about that. Also, Josh Heupel out on the road recruiting. Who's he going to visit? We'll discuss that. Also, made a video yesterday talking about 4-star linebacker Keon Riggins, scheduled to come off the board tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Are we on commitment? Watch, we're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. But as always, guys, you know what to do. Smash that thumbs up below the video. Quick, free, easy, helps the channel. Do all that YouTube stuff. Subscribe, click the bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Going to be live Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I called somebody out. I think I may have made a mistake. I went to Twitter, I opened my mouth, and I challenged Jamal Wallace to a game of Madden football right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. He accepted. And then you guys reminded me, you guys told me, you guys said, Boogie, have you ever seen him play Madden? You're in trouble. Regardless, we're going to hang out with Jamal Wallace Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to make the Talkin VAWLS family proud. But let's get into it. Let's talk about a little bit of recruiting first and foremost. Again, 4-star linebacker Keon Riggins, scheduled to come off the board tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, 5'11", 205 pounds, out of the state of Texas. You know, I said yesterday when I made the video talking about him, some of the things that concerned me were that he took the visit to Texas A&M. He was talking about taking visits this spring. He was talking about taking official visits in the summer. But he takes the visit to Texas A&M, and then shortly thereafter, he decides, I'm going to go ahead and make my commitment. Now, Josh Heupel, Brian Jean-Marie were in-house this week. They went to visit him at school. Would that be enough? Would that be enough momentum? Not likely. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys right now, Austin Price from VolQuest seems to be putting it out that we probably don't need to waste our time tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But, you know, I said in the video yesterday, and I'll say it again today, we'll see what happens. This is an early commitment. Heupel's really good at continuing to build those relationships, work those relationships. So never say never when it comes to Keon Riggins. But tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, it sounds like he will choose Texas A&M. Well, let's talk about another player that Josh Heupel and this coaching staff has been working on, talking about, you know, decommitments, talking about continuing to build those relationships even after they commit. That is 5-star wide receiver Jamie French. Now, he was committed to Alabama, right? Commits early. Saban goes off into the sunset, retires. He decommits from Alabama, and the conversation at that point on Jamie French was, you know, what can Tennessee do here? He's got a good relationship with George McIntyre. Will that be enough? Can they get him on campus? That's the key to Jamie French here. You can see there on the screen. This would be elite. This would be an elite add to the class of 25. 5-star wide receiver, top 15 player. Number 3 ranked wide receiver in the country. You know, a lot of us are buzzing. A lot of us are talking about this incoming class of wide receivers with Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley. We're excited. But you look at this class of 25, there are a lot of talented wide receivers that Tennessee has a legitimate shot to land. Andrew Ivins got the scouting report, skilled route runner, superb body control and strong hands, measured 6'1", 175, summer before the 11th grade year, but at times can play much bigger than the numbers suggest as he fights for positioning and secures the prize. Goes on to say attention to details allow him to separate underneath, while agile feet allow him to keep defenders off balance as attacks the deeper part of the field. Goes on to say might not be a true burner, but owns respectable testing numbers for his age and has shown that he can win his fair share of foot races. Does a favorable job of navigating his way through traffic and is the type of ball carrier that understands the value of just picking up the yardage that's presented to him. Must keep progressing and continue to soak in any and all coaching, but has what it takes to emerge as a go-to target at the Power 5 level with his tools. Now, this was just recently. It has been confirmed after the commitment from George McIntyre. He has confirmed Jamie French is going to visit Tennessee. He is going to come into town. Again, great relationship with George McIntyre. Can see them playing together. This is a quote that he gave VolQuest, said they are definitely top 5 when talking about Tennessee. Says it's just the relationships and bond with Coach Pope and how he has been down to see me. He and Coach Hype stay in touch over the phone, and we are working on a visit this spring for practice. Now, something I didn't know, AP put it out in an article that he put out today. I didn't realize that Jamie French's older brother actually played for Hype at UCF in 2019. So you got that family connection. You got that connection to Coach Hype. You got that relationship with George McIntyre. It sounds like Jamie French really likes Coach Pope. So I think Tennessee set themselves up nicely here. Let's go. Let's get him on campus, continue to build those relationships. And something that, reading about George and the way he recruited, even before he had made his decision. I heard him talking about this on the VolQuest podcast. Even before he had made his decision, he was building relationships. So guys like Jamie French, guys like David Sanders, some of these guys that he was working relationships with, it wasn't necessarily about Tennessee. It was about, hey, let's play together, whether that be Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, wherever we end up. Let's stick together, and that's going into our favor. That's one for the good guys. Now, again, Heupel is out on the road right now. He is recruiting. Again, we mentioned he was out on the road visiting Keon Riggins earlier in the week. Another guy that he is out to visit today, another 5-star wide receiver. So, again, we're talking about the Mike Matthews, the Braylon Staley's, the impact players that are looking to come to Tennessee. We got the quarterback position locked down, boys. We got Nico, we got Jake Merklinger, and now we've got George McIntyre. Now we're talking about elite 5-star wide receivers, Jamie French, Caleb Cunningham, Mike Matthews. Heupel out on the road to visit him. Again, there you can see 5-star prospect, another top 15 player. Second-ranked wide receiver in the country according to the On3 industry rankings. So you're talking about the number 2 receiver, the number 3 receiver, both heavily interested in Tennessee. Now you can see there the recruiting prediction machine has Mississippi State way out front. I took a visit to Mississippi State, and there was a lot of buzz there. There was a lot of hype, a lot of buzz, almost so much that he was even about to commit to Mississippi State. So, again, he's a Mississippi kid. So does he want to stay home and play at Mississippi State? But, again, the relationship with George kind of pumped the brakes on that. George McIntyre commits, and then this is what Chad Simmons put out on Caleb Cunningham shortly after the commitment from George. Says the buzz, it's always hard for programs to get the best out of Mississippi, but Tennessee is now in a better spot than it was before McIntyre's commitment. The two have had some conversations. McIntyre will now work to get Cunningham back to Knoxville, and then the Vols are in the mix. Tennessee has some work to do here. Mississippi State has been trending. Ole Miss is in play, and like Tennessee, multiple ACC and SEC schools are working to become serious contenders. So again, the GMAC impact, the scouting report, Gabe Brooks, 247 Sports, unverified size and athleticism, but possesses the physical traits and excellent functional athleticism on tape. Knows no less about him than most other wideouts in the class, but definitely aware that he's a dynamic basketball player. He translates that body control and bounce to ball-winning mismatch effectiveness at the wideout position. Unstoppable in red zone situations. I love that. Where did we struggle last year in the red zone? Was it quarterback play? Maybe. But now we got a wide receiver here that we're recruiting that is unstoppable in the red zone. Strong-handed in traffic, runs hard in run-after-the-catch situations, bowls his way through arm tackles, long striding gait that creates necessity for build-up speed, natural route sense and spatial awareness. Question the top-end athlete from speed and lateral perspectives relative to the others in the class, though athletic profile is admittedly excellent with the hoops context. Projects as a high major impact player with a long-term ceiling that could lead to NFL draft consideration. So that's a scouting report on Caleb Cunningham. Again, a lot of buzz around Mississippi State. Great relationship with GMAC and Josh Heupel out on the road to visit him. Another guy that Hype's visiting on the road this week is Rodarius Jackson, a 4-star wide receiver, in-state kid. We talk about keeping those kids in-state. Ranked 257th nationally. You guys are saying, okay, talking about all these 5 stars. Now Boogie pulls up a 4-star here at the end of the video, and it kind of deflates me. Kind of deflates me a little bit. Not as excited as I was for Caleb Cunningham or Jamie French. Let's take a listen. If you missed a charity live stream we did Wednesday night, we just hit the goal last night. $10,000 raised on that charity stream. You can still hit the live tab on the YouTube channel. You can go back. You can still donate. We've hit the goal, but let's continue to put on more steam. If you missed that stream, I encourage you to check it out. But let's go take a listen. Matt Ray from VolQuest.com was in the house, and he was talking about Rodarius Jackson and some of the wide receiver recruiting at Tennessee. Let's let Matt Ray talk about it.
Yeah, I think you have to keep an eye on Rodarius Jackson, right? His first initial ranking here, for On3, when Charles ranked him, he bumped into Like 200, yeah, 253. I was going to say 243 in the industry rating, but a guy in Memphis that had a big season, and man, he is just scratching the surface of his potential. He's close with George. They play on the same 7-on-7 team, and is a guy that you know can really go get the football. Tennessee, I think when you look at Kelsey Pope and what they did, they swung really hard at Carnell Tate. Obviously, that it was just too hard to overcome. That lifelong want to play for Ohio State and being recruited by Brian Hartline and everything else. But he bounces back this next cycle and he lands Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley, who I think is going to be really good. But then now you have a chance where you're here in January and you've got Jamie French coming to campus in March. You've got Caleb Cunningham coming to campus in March. You've got Cameron Sparks, who's going to be on campus still a lot throughout his process. You've got Jackson. You've got two top 300 players at wide receiver in the state. And it just seems like this cycle specifically for Tennessee, they're in on more coveted guys at the receiver position than I can remember. And they've been in on those guys, but this time it seems just more serious. There seems to be a lot more draw. And that was before you add the quarterback to it. That was before you add George McIntyre to it. So now you have the Travis Smith Jr. out of Westlake. You have Phillip Bell. You have Corey Sims from Missouri. All those guys are guys that Tennessee really likes, guys that fit well into their play style. So at that position specifically for me, I do think George will have a big impact with the receivers around him.
That was Matt Ray on the Talkin VAWLS and Friends charity stream from the other night. Great information. Matt Ray is really good at what he does. So that was his thoughts on Rodarius Jackson, a guy that he thinks is going to continue to improve. We talk about these guys in the class of 25. They've not played their senior year of football yet. They're going to continue to grow, develop, and get better. And that's where you got to hope that these coaches know how to evaluate talent. And I think this coaching staff has proved that they've been able to do it up to this point. But that is going to do it for this one. 5-star talent going to be on campus. Heupel out on the road. Don't worry about commitment watch. You guys go have a good time on your Friday evenings. But make sure you smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merchandise. The link's in the description. You really want to support this channel. It's for the fans, by the fans. It is also fan-funded. Hit that join button down below. You can become a member for $1. We would greatly appreciate it. But this is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.